All right, good morning for all of you that came back. I was trying to decide, I got a variety of different videos I like to do. There's one on the talking heads because it's like a group of passion I got a lot of stuff on. I like to do one on compilations, on soundtracks, on music that just plain scared me. A variety of different things. But I've been still working through all the albums that I've got since Record Store Day. No kid, there's still some Record Store Day I haven't listened to, plus some other stuff. And I need to get it sorted. I need to get it put away. I've listened to most of it now. Now I want to put it away, so I'm just going to show you what you got, what I have. So this video is about what happens when you go to a record store and you don't really have a plan. In life, the key is to have a plan, right? Always have a plan, so you stay to the script. Well, I'm not very good at that when it comes to record stores, and I go in with a plan. I actually have a list on my phone on these is what I want, and then some guy throws something else on the stereo. Oh, look at this, and then I look over. Oh, look at that. It's kind of like a dog seeing a squirrel. You remember that movie Up? I think it was called the Squirrel. That's the problem. Someone yells squirrel, and I'm looking over there. Suddenly, I'm buying something else. So on today's video, if you like punk, I got it. If you like rock, I got it. Country, I'm your man. You want a little bluegrass? I'm there. World music? Hey, I'm all in. Caribbean? You betcha. Jazz? Yes. Big band? Absolutely. Polka? Nah, go find another channel. Sorry, no polka. So let's go. There's a lot here, and I want to get through it all. First, soundtrack. Up the Academy. I bought this in 1980 when the movie came out, but it's a segue, all right? It's a segue. So this movie, it was kind of like Mad Magazine's response to Animal House. And I can't tell you a thing about the movie. I don't remember it, except there was one song on there, Roadrunner, from Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers. Hadn't ever heard it. They played that on there, and it stuck to me. And isn't that what a good movie has some song that sticks to you? It's the Modern Lovers Roadrunner, and I became a fan. So yesterday, picked it up. Now, I've had this in CD for years, but I've always wanted the original. I've looked, and now the price of the original is kind of going out of control. And if someone sends me some money, I can buy it, or just send me the original. That'd be even easier. So I went out and bought this. This is one of my all-time favorites. It has Roadrunner, Astral Plane, Modern, Old World, Pablo Picasso. What's interesting, of course, is Jerry Harrison was on here. He went into the Talking Heads. David Robinson was on here. He went in to play drums for the Cars. Of course, Jonathan Richman, he's always been all over the place and really quirky. But it has Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso was never called an asshole. Not like you. What a fantastic song. This thing's great through and through. I think it's 1973, 1974, considered art rock. That's probably because it's not punk, it's not rock. Art rock sounds about right. I mean, it has Pablo Picasso. He's an artist. Must be art rock, right? I am so happy to have this thing. It's all thanks to the movie, Up the Academy. That got me into it. Can't tell you a thing about the movie. All right, moving on. Bought this 12-inch at a record convention there, all right? The Replacements. Huge Replacement fan. What I liked about this is they did 20th Century Boy, and they did a live version of Hey Good Looking from Hank Williams. And it's really darn awesome. I mean, they have I Will Dare on here. That's great. But the other two on side two are really neat. Hank Williams, The Replacements. Who knew? Pere Ubu. All right, another one. This is a 45. It has some great. This is very listenable. Sometimes they're not always very listenable, but this one was. You can sit, relax, and enjoy it. It has Heart of Darkness, 30 Seconds Over Tokyo, which is a huge. Well, okay, not a hit, but if you like this, if you like this group, you love 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. Really, this was one of their early albums. I think like second or third album that they made back in the late 70s. It kind of got them up and going and was really popular for those fans of that. So I was really happy to get this. I also picked up Perubu here, and it's a Don't Expect Art. All right, see that on there from them. Um, an unofficial album, more of a bootleg, a live one on here, where this one's really listenable. This one, hey, it's a little more of a challenge. They're squawking away with saxes and different things. And, it was Perry Ubu, all right. Variety of different things. It just isn't like, well, I just going to have a glass of wine and sit back and listen to this. It's more of a nice, frothy cup of beer to listen to it. It's okay, not bad. I mean, I like the group, so hey, I got it. XTC B-sides. I have A-sides, now I have the B-sides on there. Picked this up. Really, I've almost got most all the XTC albums now. This is one I did not have, so I was happy to pick that one. Oh no! Oh no! It's Devo! Alright. I love the early Devo albums. This one came out in the early 80s. I never bought it because really I wasn't happy in the way Devo was going. They were becoming much too popular. Isn't that sad? We really like a group and then suddenly everyone else starts liking a group and then we don't like a group. I know, pretty pathetic. This had Peekaboo. But I've read, at the time critics panned it, didn't like it. I was reading that, oh God, this thing, everyone says it sucks, so I didn't buy it. Through the years, critics have gotten to like this a lot better. Not that critics mean everything, but I do read all that stuff. And so I gave it a shot, and guess what? I liked it. It just took me maybe 40 years to figure it out. But, oh no, it's Devo. Love it. Death. Oh, man. Now, all right, no idea about this group. Absolutely zero. Never heard of it, but my guy at Radio Wasteland here in Midland, Michigan, Jim Gleason, he brought these in, and they were newly redone. This was somewhere between hard rock and punk out of Detroit, I believe 1973. The biggest band that never made it. Nothing ever happened. They recorded some stuff. It went nowhere. There's some documentaries on YouTube with this. Check it out. It's actually very, very interesting. They got a full documentary out there also. It's a really neat group, worth looking into. Death. They're from Detroit. They're still around. They're still around, and they've been putting out some music. Nothing's quite done it. This one was just, it's a 7-song. Keep on Knocking is their main kind of hit on there. But shall we say they were before their time, and now they're getting some of their dues. AC/DC, Let There Be Rock. Yes, I told you I had a little hard rock on here. Okay, I had this in a cassette that I borrowed someone's album and made a cassette of it, so I finally got it in an album. What's interesting on AC/DC is back in the days I used to have a taekwondo gym, and we went to a competition. And at the competition, there was a pattern. So we had everyone, well, actually, it was about board breaking. So I had my group come in as a competition. And I set the music to Hell's Bells. Now, no one really ever set music to this, but I actually choreographed it. Yes, I'm a choreographer now. How about that? And so I had this set up to Hell's Bells. And so they're doing these fights, but everything's sequenced right to Hell's Bells. And then when they go, Hell's Bells, we start busting wood. The dolls come out, we're holding wood, and they're breaking away. And then in the middle, when they had that great guitar solo, my youngest son jumps up and does a nunchuck solo. And he just was flying around nunchucks. It was so cool. Might I digress, though? I know there's only so much time. A little story. So kind of happy to find that AC/DC. Beck, I just picked it up on vinyl. Had it for ever since it came out on CD. And one of my favorite Beck albums. Elton John's Honky Tonk Chateau. To my surprise, I never owned a copy. I didn't even own this in CD, which was kind of a big surprise because it has one of my favorite Elton John songs on there. Rocket Man. Really, really liked it. So picked this thing up from the early 70s. Really happy with that purchase. We have the Cars. Candy, oh, I need you. Hey, there we go. David Robinson's on there from Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers. In college, my younger brother, he picked up the original Cars. He picked up this one. He liked them. While he was buying Cars, I was buying Christopher Cross. Okay. He's never done anything with the music. I've gone on and I've learned that, you know what, he bought a lot cooler stuff. He bought Tom Petty. I didn't buy Tom Petty. I did buy Devo. All right, here we go. The Cramps. I know I had a video, about a month ago. If you haven't checked it out, check it out because it's pretty cool. This is one of my favorite groups. This is a live album from 1979 on there. There you can see the original group of Lex Interior, Nick Knockers, Poison Ivy, and Gregory Hawkins. Kind of an unofficial album again according to Discogs, but it's been printed, so it must be kind of official as a UPC. You know, sound quality is not that great on there, but I just love the group, so I'm kind of a sucker for anything Cramps, so there I buy it. Brought this thing from New West, Yip Deceiver. What? Isn't that Middle I don't even know how to pronounce it. Medelius, Yip Deceiver. Kind of electronic. It was good. I mean, I've actually listened to this one a couple times. Some of that New West stuff I didn't much care for. This one I actually really, really enjoyed. It came out in 2013. Yip Deceiver. Didn't know it. Got this 12-inch from David Gilmour. This was from a couple takes from in 1984 when he put out About Face, okay? And they both really rock well. Great guitar in here. I mean, I like that period with David Gilmour. I thought he did some great guitar work. About Face is such a great album CD, so I was happy to find that. Dictators, Manifest Destiny. Not the original. It is a repressing of it that came out, a few years ago. Look at all that glare. Really apologize for that. But this one, they did a great version of Iggy Pop's Search and Destroy that I liked on there. Considered a punk band out of Detroit. I call them more of a rock and roll garage type band. I think to me it's more where they could be put. But no matter what, they were popular. I have a few albums from them, so I was kind of happy to pick up Manifest Destiny. All right, got this in maybe a month ago, Arctic Monkeys. Open this one up. I wasn't... I have most of their stuff on CD. And so I bought this, and then I'd read some stuff, and they were kind of... the reviews were so-so on it, so I didn't know. Tell you, I played it yesterday, and I was just really impressed with it. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was a mature work. It shows that they're growing as a band. Look at that. You have everything you need to know about each and every song on there. I thought that was neat. Picture of them. It came with this book. This was really kind of fun. It has all the lyrics in here. Oh, no, that's not a lyric. They put all the different songs so you can sing along. And the thing is, they do it so people like me, who are getting old, and that's kind of neat, huh? And so, our glasses just keep getting stronger and stronger. We can now read this. So I thought that was nice. But that's really neat that they did that. You just don't find that in records anymore. We just throw it out. There's nothing extra there. I thought that was super cool. Really enjoyed it. It was a very good album, okay, folks? I like it. Is it like typical Arctic Monkeys? No. Again, I thought it was more mature. It showed they're growing and moving in a very good direction. So, very surprised. Really, really enjoyed it. All right, bought this at a record store in West Virginia this week. Wilson Pickett, I'm in Love. Walked in. This is where I have my list. This is what I'm going to look for. Dude throws this on, and I'm out there and I'm listening to records, and my foot's a tapping away, and I'm starting to bop my head. And go, damn it, what is that? And I go over there, and it shows me Wilson Pickett, I'm in Love, I believe 1967. He puts a couple ballads on here, I guess for the first time. They're not really syrupy ballads. I mean, I still thought they did well. But let me tell you, the horn section in here is so fantastic. The bass, oh my God, it just... they put a lot of emphasis on that bass. That and the drums, that rhythm section really just grooves. This thing was fantastic. Gosh darn, I enjoyed it. It's a cool record store in West Virginia, in Charleston, I go to. When you walk in, one of the first things, you want a beer. Where do you get that in a record store? You want a beer? He has a cooler of beer down there. Coors Light. Hey, beer and records. Let me tell you, you drink more beer, you buy more records. This guy's smart. He knows what he's doing. My God, we're at 15 minutes. All right, bought this. All right, so now we're into funk, baby. Okay, Machine Gun from the Commodores. This is their very first album. This came out in 1974. It has the group on there, and someone pointed out, look at Lionel's haircut. Let me tell you, Commodores were funky. The first 4 albums were pure funk. I mean, they were with Ohio Players, they were with Parliament. Their horns were fantastic. Great rhythm section on here. This is a great album. Machine Gun was a fantastic song. Like this thing. First to the ending track, well worth it. I've been looking for this thing for years. I now have all the Commodores up to 1980. I love their hit Brick House and Easy, but that album kind of was the start of the ballads, and they lost their funkiness. The first 4, absolutely fantastic. Got this one too, Hot on the Tracks. Reason why I show this is I already had it. What the hell? I bought it again. Why? For some odd reason, when I was entering stuff into Discogs, I missed half of my Commodore stuff. And so, I'm looking, do I have this one? Do I have this one? Because I got too much crap. Hey, I don't have it. I'll buy it. Got it. Got an extra. All right. From Record Store Day, Bunk Johnson. Look at that. I mean, fantastic job at writing notes and putting in history on here. This is what I appreciate when they do this on Record Store Day. Give me some history. This guy really, at the beginning of the 20th century, was already out there doing music. Jazz. Beginning parts of jazz. He had small combos. And, so, I mean, it's like 1920s jazz. Well, in the 1940s, a guy was going around trying to record a lot of that music from back in the teens and the 20s, and Bunk was still around. So he didn't have a lot of money, but he was able to find a few musicians. He had to scrape together money, and they did these recordings. Really interesting. Historically speaking, for jazz, if you like it, this is a great, of some of the early jazz out there. Well worth it. Really happy with that sucker. All right, we had Miles Davis. Okay, this was from Record Store Day too, and this was different versions of Rubber Band. All right. Remember last week I kind of bitched about why don't they put pictures on the inner sleeves on Record Store Day? You pay all the money. Look at that. Miles Davis at his baddest. Is that not cool? I totally appreciated that they made this. I mean, it's black vinyl. That's all right. We got a cool picture of Miles. When it comes to me and Miles, let's face it, if Miles played a kazoo, I'd say that is the best damn kazoo player I've ever heard. I absolutely love this man, everything he puts out. You know what? I like. And this was no exception. These different versions of Rubber Band were awesome. There's vocals with it, but totally enjoyed it. Couldn't go wrong. All right, found this out there, Miles Davis Tutu. Okay, this is one of his last albums that he made. And I should have had this memorized, and I apologize, but 1986. I've ignored this for years. I wasn't sure about it, because he's really getting more into the electronics and stuff. Actually, he was playing his horn. It was really muted, and there was another gentleman, and I'm sorry, the name pops, I miss it, but he played a lot of the other instrumentation. There was a lot of electronics. You know what? I bought it anyway, and I liked it. It's Miles Davis. I'm telling you, if he played the kazoo, I'd like it. Again, I enjoyed it. It's different. To me, Miles lost that creative edge that others were having, but still fantastic. All right, another Record Store Day. Soul Diesel 2. All right, I played the hell out of this one. I mean, this thing it has a Hammond organ. It's not like I'm the greatest Hammond organ fan, but I like it when used correctly, and this thing does. It reminds me of this, and I bought this thing in the 90s, Soul Live. I don't know if any of you have ever listened to this or heard this. I'm sure you have if you like jazz. Soul Live, again, a very Hammond-oriented jazz band. Totally loved it. This thing was great, and not only that, look at that. It's like, kind of like a bad drug, right? Maybe a good drug trip there. Really fantastic album. Gosh darn it. I mean, I'm going to listen to it again and again and again. It's one of my favorites, especially from Record Store Day. Picked up Bill Evans. This is Bill Evans Trio, Riverside. This is made in 1959. Think about 1959 in jazz. You had Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. You had, Dave Brubeck came Time Out. And there was a number of other fantastic releases. 1959, not only was I born, which made it a fantastically good year. Wahoo, Nebraska. Woohoo! But it was kind of the start of a whole jazz revolution. And Bill Evans was part of it. Right after this guy really, like so many jazz guys, they got hooked on heroin, and he passed away early. But he did a lot of great work with Miles Davis, especially into the early '60s. His Riverside Sessions. I have this huge box set of Bill Evans' Riverside Sessions, where this is part of it. Really great musician. Okay, Memphis Jug Band. I was watching that documentary, American Epic. Now, I'd heard of these guys before, but the American Epic documentary really went into the Memphis Jug Band. And it was really fascinating. And so I saw this in a sealed copy out there. It's from 1981. And you know what? It's historical music. It doesn't mean I'm going to put this on all the time and jam to it, but the thing is, it's a piece of history. And that's what I like about music. There's history involved with all of it. And so I was really excited about this. I'm still excited about it. My favorite album in the world? No, it's not. But is it important? Yes, it is. And if you haven't watched that American Epic series, well worth looking at. All right, for a buck, look at that. 5 Feet of Soul, Jimmy Rushing. All right. Hey, this guy started playing. He was learning the piano in 1919. Again, kind of this guy did a lot of boogie-woogie piano. Well, eventually he got together with Count Basie and became part of Count Basie's band, I think from 1934 into the 1950s, and they did stuff together. Boy, for $1, let me tell you, you want boogie-woogie piano, this is the dude for you. Holy cow, does he fly over the place. All right, so there's jazz big band. How about some country here, okay? Latest from Third Man Records, Joshua Headley, Mr. Jukebox. You swear to God you're listening to Hank Williams Sr. on here. That electric steel guitar. It has the lushness that you heard in country music in the late 60s, early 70s. And when that was big, I absolutely hated it, detested it, couldn't listen to country for many, many years. And now I've really gotten into it, and I love a good steel guitar. This comes on a beautiful orange vinyl on here. And, this is one of those limited Third Man releases. Look at that, even has picture. Oh, that was lyrics. There we go, nice picture. Pretty cool vinyl. Great album. It's been sitting there for a while. Again, I bought it since Record Store Day, trying to get to it, and really liked it. I like the old school feel. And for God's sake, the guy's wearing a nudie suit. How cool is that? Awesome. All right, almost done here. How about this one? This is from the J.E. Mariners, Mountains, Volume 2. Okay, so this guy was from North Carolina, and this is a bluegrass band. He had a lot of different bluegrass bands. At the time, this was during the Depression in 40s. Radio stations would bring in their own bands. And so this guy would go to different radio stations and form a band and play on them. But he'd do it for 6 months or so, and then suddenly, go back to farming. Then he'd go form another band, go out there, find another radio station. He even played down in Mexico. I like the label there. Old-timey music. So, he played for a variety of different people throughout the Carolinas. He's down in Texas, Louisiana. There was a lot of states that Maynard played in. And so this is just some of his music. It's really neat bluegrass music. It's old-timey bluegrass music, but it's what I was looking for, so I was quite happy with that. So really neat. All right, how about a little world music here? Flor de Caña, and it's called Move It or Move On. Interesting album. I'm telling you, this is why you go on the list, because you wind up buying all kinds of other stuff like you've seen here. But really goes into Central American music. It's a variety of different songs, but there's Argentina, Venezuela, a lot from Nicaragua on here, Panama, even a couple from U.S. It didn't play as well as I thought. Final looked good, but still kind of fuzzy. But just a variety of songs. Totally enjoyed it. If you're into that Latin beat, kind of a salsa feel to some of this. Side one moved pretty fast. Side two moved a little slower, but really interesting. Final album we have here is Tambu, Charlie Roots. Okay. Again, very interesting album. It's more calypso type music from the 1980s. So it really changes. It has that 80s kind of a vibe to it. So, I mean, I don't know. It was interesting. Will it be on my thing a lot? No. All right. That almost catches me up. I'm on my records, 25 minutes. I apologize for that. I looked at the thing. Most people watch a video 5-6 minutes and off you go. So pick the best 5 and 6 minutes that you want. There's music for everyone in there. Pretty exciting stuff. I think my next, hopefully, few videos will be more special ones. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate those that have subscribed. And enjoy that day out there. Have a happy Memorial Day. It looks to be great. Unless you're in Florida, then it's really going to suck. All right. Have a wonderful day.